May I Be Heard by Anthony Corona, founder of the Sunday Edition family of podcasts. Sometimes the smallest words in a conversation carry the heaviest emotional weight. If someone opens themselves to you, if they share their fears, frustrations, needs, wants, boundaries, exhaustion, loneliness, confusion, joy, or heartbreak, if they trust you enough to hand you the fragile little glass sculpture that is their emotional truth, and your first response begins with I did, I meant, I was, I thought, I didn't, I feel, then somewhere in that moment the exchange has already begun slipping off the rails. Not because your feelings do not matter, not because your perspective has no value, not because communication should only flow in one direction, but because before the person even finished emotionally landing the plane, the runway already became about your defense, your explanation, your discomfort, your interpretation, or your rebuttal. And people can feel that shift immediately. Sometimes the most powerful words in a conversation are not solutions, not explanations, not corrections, not winning points. Sometimes the most powerful words are, I hear you. Tell me more. That must have hurt. I didn't realize you were carrying that. Thank you for trusting me with that. Throughout the May I series presented by the Sunday Edition and Bold Blind Beauty, we have explored concepts surrounding permission, emotional honesty, identity, vulnerability, listening, and human connection. We have talked about what it means to truly see one another beyond assumptions, defenses, labels, and performance. One of the recurring truths that keeps surfacing through these conversations is this: people are starving to feel heard, not fixed, not managed, not corrected, heard. We live in a world where so many conversations have quietly transformed into courtroom arguments. Everybody preparing evidence, everybody preparing rebuttals, everybody waiting for their turn to speak instead of listening for understanding. But listening is not waiting to reload. Real listening requires stillness. It requires restraint. It requires allowing someone else's emotional reality to exist for a moment without immediately trying to reshape it into something more comfortable for ourselves. And yes, that can be uncomfortable, especially in friendships, especially in families, especially in romantic relationships where vulnerability feels terrifying and where accountability sometimes arrives wrapped in emotion. But if every vulnerable conversation immediately turns into defense mode, eventually people stop bringing you their truth. They stop opening doors. They stop trusting the emotional space between you, and silence grows there instead. As we prepare for our fourth conversation in the May I series, beginning with joy and moving into the practical application of everything we have discussed so far, I encourage all of us to think about how we show up when someone hands us their feelings. Are we listening to understand or listening to respond? There is a difference, and sometimes that difference changes everything.